Hi.
How's your day going?
My what?
How's your day going?
It's all right. Pretty busy around here.
Yeah, a lot of things are happening on Broadway. They're opening the theaters at night.
They're
Free
opening
concerts.
what?
The theaters?
Oh,
Free concerts.
just for tonight.
Yeah, from 5 to like midnight.
Oh.
So it's cool. And then they have like food trucks all over the place.
And have what?
They have food trucks all
Yeah,
over
I
the
see that. Yeah. Not the most healthy stuff, but
place. Yeah.
it's
But
alright.
when you're hungry, you eat, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So you guys are out here. I was reading about you guys, and they said that.
I see you went from your phone to your headgear now, recording.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not actually recording this right now. I only use that for when I'm doing stunts on my thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then you don't upload us on YouTube.
Me? No, I would never do
Ooh,
that.
TedTheAtheist.
I would
No,
never
that's
do
not
that.
even your YouTube.
Me?
You are so innocent.
You must be talking about somebody else. It's not me.
Alright.
I'm just a stranger,
Oh,
just
yes.
a random person
Strolling around.
strolling around,
Yes.
trying to make sense of the world. That's all. That's all.
Does it work well? Like the camera itself and the voice, does it pick up well?
This?
Yeah.
I never use it. It's always off.
You just
I just
don't
have
know
it there for
how-
looks, so I look sophisticated.
Oh, so you don't know the sound. Just
I have no idea if it actually works. Yeah.
But how does it, with the pitch, like the motion of it, does it capture it well, or is like how's the angle of the camera? Is it like 180? Or,
I would assume it is if I ever used it.
but you just said
but
you
I
use
don't
for
use
your
it.
Stunts.
What's that?
You just said you use it for your stunts.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, yeah. I have yet to be successful at it. You know, I'm such a noob. You know, I don't.
Keep changing. I remember you had a hoverboard.
Yeah, the hoverboard got old. This thing is like the best thing to have right now. Yeah.
Is it like hard to balance?
Uh,
I'm not good at
yes,
balancing,
it is.
but
Then
is
you
it
would
easier
you would
than the
you would
hoverboard?
suck you would
Yeah.
suck ass at it.
I'm pretty much
Yeah.
sure I would.
Yeah.
But is it easier than the hoverboard, or it's a little different?
What's that?
Is it easier than the hoverboard, or is it a little different?
No, it's much harder.
It's harder.
Much harder,
'Cause
yes.
It's like one wheel.
Pretty much. Yeah, it's like a unicycle.
Oh, that's cool. It's
Mm.
an advanced unicycle. That's cool.
So you guys are out trying to convert today.
You know why we're here. You argue with us all
You know
the
what?
time.
Some guy said that you guys never want to talk to atheists. Is that true?
No, that's not true. It's just when we're recording.
He said that only people who actually believe are the people who they want to talk to.
No, not true at all.
So you're different. Because I had two people tell me that. I had two people tell me
It's
they
just,
never want to.
You have a camera on us, and then you put it on YouTube. We don't feel comfortable.
You know what?
just
I have a question about that. Because you guys go around from door to door and you're out here talking, and so you're very public.
Yes.
So why would you at all ever be worried about anyone filming you? Because wouldn't that mean that your message would get out further?
It's my personal choice that I don't want to be recorded. I just don't like being in front of a camera. We had this discussion before too.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So
Sorry, I'm not too good with people's faces. I'm not too good with people's faces. They just
I don't blame you. You see
I-
people's faces all the time.
people.
So
I'm bad with faces and names. Like if you told me your name, I wouldn't know it. I forget. So I'm just bad. But yeah, so he actually told me no, he doesn't want to talk to atheists. So I was.
don't know who he
I actually had a lady tell me that too. She goes, wait. Do you believe the Bible's inspired? I'm like, no. Oh, then we got nothing to talk about.
then,
So that's two people, two JWs say to me, don't want to talk to an atheist.
well,
But you apparently are different.
I am open to talking to anyone that wants to talk. But I'm open to talking to you, but you have a camera and
Oh, I'm not using it.
the thing is that
I'm
I
not,
don't
it's
know
not
if
on.
you're
See, the lights are not on. It's off.
The thing is that I don't know if you're using it or not, because last time
Oh.
you had your phone and you said you had
Put it this way. Put it this way. Put it this way. If I am or I am, or I'm not, the bonus is your voice gets to be heard.
But I don't want my voice to be heard that way.
But you're out here talking to people. You're knocking people's doors. You're all over the place.
Genuinely come that are interested to talk about anything, but at the
I'm
same-
interested to talk about something.
But the thing is that we get into an argument, and I don't want to do that.
Oh,
You say something.
We can have a civilized conversation. Let's talk about the end of the world predictions from 1925 and 1975, and how 3/4 of the Jehovah's Witnesses left between 1925 and 1928. and then a large portion left after 1975 after those two failed predictions happened. Why did that happen? Why did they predict the end of the world twice in a row and failed, and then people left? Isn't that a big thing?
Bible, it says no one knows the time or the day.
So then why did they choose 1975 and 1975?
Okay, just like science, people in Galileo's time, they thought the world was the center of the universe.
Right.
After more observation and more research, they thought,
Right.
no, we're not even in the middle of the galaxy, we're on the side of the galaxy.
So you support scientific research?
Of course.
Oh, okay.
And now, same thing with the truth. Slowly, the light shines brighter and brighter.
It does. Do we have a new date now or no date?
There is no day.
No
because
date,
Jesus
okay.
himself said no one knows the time or the day.
Okay.
So, obviously no one knows. But he gave us prophecies and signs at the end of the day. He said when you see all these things happening,
Okay.
it shows that God's kingdom is very near.
Does that mean it's near? Because it's been near for a while, according to a lot of people.
It's very close, yes, because all the things that are written in First Timothy or Second Timothy 3:1-5 talks about how the people are going to be at the end of the day.
People are going to be what?
How people are going to be at the last days.
Oh. So you're concerned about that?
Well, it's prophecies that are happening, yeah.
But-
I'm not concerned like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen?
If a prophecy, okay, let's just say there is a prophecy, and you're right, there's a prophecy, one that can be easily debated. But if there was a prophecy and it was somehow true, what does that have to do with thinking that that's somehow evidence of what your God's going to do, or that your God even exists?
Do you mind if I show you a brief video that shows about the prophecies and how we're so sure that what has been in the Bible has come true? And
Okay,
how we're so
okay, but I was giving you that. I'll say, what if those prophecies were actually legit, which many can obviously easily say they're not, but let's say they were legit for sake of argument, and they're completely true and very accurate. They're falsifiable, but they're not. How would that relate to your deity being true? Is
When you know that someone does something, like let's say your friend, you
Mhm.
trust them, and when they say, you know, I'm going to be there when you need me, every time he says something, he does it. And no doubt in your mind that one day he'll come and be like, dude, I was in a car wreck, I need you. You know for sure he's going to come, right? He's going to
Okay,
be there for you because
all
he
right.
always has been.
all right?
Same thing with God. He's had a lot of prophecies told throughout the years.
No, but okay, let's make that a correct analogy, because if let's just say my friend didn't tell me that. Let's just say I read something saying
your friend
that my
didn't.
friend was going to be there. Okay, and my friend, was always going to be there, and then so. But let's just say that even if something happened to me to make me think my friend was there, even though he was never really there, even if it was completely accurate, how would that show me that my friend actually exists and it wasn't just someone else doing something for me?
Okay, so it's not the prophecies that you're more interested in that happening, is more God.
The relationship between the prophecy
Okay,
and the God.
And him actually existing.
Yes, my friend actually existing. Yes.
There are many evidence around the world
Okay.
in Earth, in our universe, in the way everything is the way it is, that shows that God exists.
Is the way it is. Like, what do you mean?
The way it was, like the Earth is in the perfect area from the sun.
Actually, that area is anywhere between like Venus and after Mars.
Yes, but
So it's a
if it
big
was-
area.
If it was like, I don't remember the percentage, but there was a scientific research done. I don't quote
Okay.
me on this because
I'll probably know it, but go ahead.
Okay, so what's there's a percentage.
It's a Goldilocks. It's called the Goldilocks Zone, and there's this area.
From the sun. If it was
But
a little far,
not too far. You'll be frozen, too cold to be liquidated. Yes, but but that's a large area. We can be anywhere in that area and still be okay. But people think that.
small percentage. It wasn't
Yeah, that's actually a falsehood that people are spreading, thinking, oh, if we were just a degree here or a degree there.
Based on what research are you saying that it's? Because I like to do research on my own. and
Sure,
just not
I like
rely-
that. That's good. That's
That's how
something
it's
that
supposed
not
to be.
many do.
But that's how it's supposed to be. Because if you have questions and if you believe in something, you have to do different researches from different areas. And
Oh,
not-
I don't think JWs would like you doing that.
Oh, we do.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay. All right.
Because we don't want to be blindly following something. We have to first
Really?
convince ourselves. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I'm surprised you're being surprised.
I am very surprised because usually people shut down, they don't want to talk, and they don't even like to question anything at all.
No, I question a lot. Ask my professors. I annoy them all the time.
Okay.
Stop asking questions. I'm like, no.
Okay.
I shall not.
Do you believe that asserting a God exists is a scientific claim?
You use big words, and then my first language is Armenian, so I didn't
Okay.
understand the
Do
question.
you believe that when someone says something exists in reality, that is a scientific claim?
If there is proof
No,
that,
but,
that
but,
exists.
but do you think it's a science? If I say unicorns exist or Tinkerbell exists in reality, that's a scientific claim, right? Because I'm saying something exists in reality.
But if there's no proof,
Okay, but get off the proof thing. It's a claim a scientific one, whether it has proof or not?
But scientists are wrong. There are
Okay,
times
okay,
scientists
no,
are wrong.
but my question is it a scientific claim, right? Because science means to know. So if I'm saying that we know something exists, like Tinkerbell, that's a scientific claim. I'm saying something in reality exists, and I should be able to prove that Tinkerbell is true in order for it to be a reasonable conclusion, right? Because I would need to show that Tinkerbell is real. Otherwise, me saying Tinkerbell is real would be just
Yeah, you have to
Imaginary,
show it.
yeah.
exactly. So, no matter what I assert to be true, I need to be able to show that it's true. So, I can't go to a book of Peter Pan and say, well, Tinkerbell is in this book, therefore Tinkerbell is real. That's not evidence. So then once
You need other resources that are non-biased
right.
to be able to prove your claim.
Right. So then if someone comes to you and says, well, why should I believe in a God if all you refer to are writings in a book that you think are like predictions of what happened or what will, that doesn't actually refer to a God existing. That's just that's like me saying, hey, this person's going to win the lottery. And if they're true, and I do win the lottery, does that mean I'm right when I say Tinkerbell is true? No, because they have my assertion of Tinkerbell being true has nothing to do with them winning the lottery, right?
Because I could tell and I know that you do a lot of research
Okay.
about history and science. Have you compared what the Bible has said in history to what actually historians have said about what happened in history?
Well, I'm sure there's some real people and some real places in the Bible, but there's actually, see, the way stories were written back then, they were written with some facts and then a bunch of fiction written in between, and that's how stories were written back then.
Yes, I understand, like the
So there's places,
mythology and all that stuff. I
yeah,
understand.
well, there's a lot, even the Bible has stuff that's not true.
For example, do you know what's the name? I'm thinking in Armenian, that's the thing.
No.
Babylon.
Okay.
Babylon during that time was a world empire.
Okay.
I don't remember the dates because I'm really bad with dates.
Okay.
And as a world empire, they said, no way in the world was this empire gonna collapse.
Okay.
Just like all the other empires.
All right.
But then, how many years before?
200, about 200.
200 years before Babylon ever got conquered, it was written by the prophet Isaiah
Mm-hmm.
that by whom it was going to be
Mhm.
conquered by.
Exact
And
name?
how?
Exact name.
Exact
Mm.
name.
The first and last name?
It said Cyrus of Persia.
Okay.
And
What's a Cyrus?
That was
oh,
his
it
name.
was his name. He
No,
was the
okay.
the king.
Okay.
King,
All right.
I believe king.
Okay.
And it happened the way it said.
Okay.
And it said that the water around Babylon, because they had
Okay.
water, was going to lower down and they were going to take it. And Babylon was like, that ain't going to happen. We're a strong empire.
Mhm.
And it happened.
Okay.
If you do
Okay.
historical research,
Okay.
not I'm talking about
Okay.
the Bible.
That's great. You're talking about, prophecy or prediction or something. I'm sure many people would have responses to what you're saying. But the question is, what does that have to do with a God existing?
Okay, so if God didn't exist
Okay.
and didn't tell the human person that is imperfect like us and cannot foresee the future to say the exact date, the year, that Babylon was going to be conquered by this person with this kind of strategy, how is it possible for it to come true?
Okay. If we don't know how a prediction came true, you see, this is not a dig on you at all, but it's actually a fallacy. It's called argument from ignorance. And not a dig on you at all. It's actually a legit thing. It's like when you look at something and say, "Well, I saw a ghost," and well, what else? What else could it have been? If it wasn't a ghost, what else could it have been? That's
I
not a way to get
understand
to.
because that's only one example that I've given to you that about prophecies. But there's so many.
Okay, you can't stack examples like that on top of each other and think that it's going to be so. But okay, I understand there's historical facts, but you can't stack a bunch of those on top and think that you have so many stacks of those that somehow relates to a God existing. We still need that line drawn between a God. What?
Why not?
Because we're still without showing that a God exists. All we have is, well, how else did it happen? We're stuck with ignorance. We don't know how. If even the predictions happen, we don't know. Sure.
When you ask us all these questions, I can tell you want to know. I can tell you want to know what she has to say.
Sure.
Do you want to know because if there is a God, would you really
I have a close, intimate relationship with reality. And the one thing I love is having the most accurate interpretation of reality. And I feed off that. I love that. I do that anything. I debate feminists and the third wave feminism today on the anti-Trump feminist rally. I'll debate anyone who says that there's a problem and that problem's not quite what they're saying it is the problem. So whatever it is, I get to the truth of something. So to answer your question, yes, if there is a God, I'd like to know about it. But I'm not gonna know about a God by using faith or by using my opinion that somehow some sort of prediction relates to a God existing. All that means is we don't know how these predictions came to pass, and maybe we need to look at it more objectively. Maybe there's people who can listen to our conversation and be like, well, this is because of that and that's because of that, and they would know more than we do on it.
Kind of common sense, though. You said we don't know how those predictions
Right.
came, So if there's no human that could predict, I mean, even the weather.
We don't know that.
When you look at your phone,
Okay.
they predict the weather, right? Based on science, based on what they've seen.
Right.
It's not always accurate.
Of course not.
You
Right.
get up and they see it's
Right.
sunny and then there's a rain shower,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, but if all the predictions that have been in the Bible have come true.
Well, you know, there's a lot of the predictions.
Have you ever read the Bible?
Yes, but there's a lot of attempts at predictions. They're actually post-dictions is what they're called. You take lines in it and you say, well, that kind of fits this scenario, so it must fit this scenario. So let's say it fits this scenario. There's a lot of predictions in the Bible that they're not really predictions because they have to be falsifiable, and a lot of them aren't. They're just like, they're generalizations. They're vague.
I get exactly what you mean because usually people when they do that, when they predict something,
Okay.
they kind of go general, so they can
Right.
look at it and say like, okay, well, I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen to you in the future. They generalize it. So
Exactly.
No matter what happens, it
Like a
fits.
horoscope.
Exactly.
And you're like, oh, that's what they said.
Yes.
But
And it fits.
but
You're
even
more
even,
judgy.
even if I was amazed by even if a prediction in the Bible was actually a real prediction and I was somehow amazed by it, all that would lead me to would be to be amazed by it and not know how it happened. That doesn't mean that humans want to draw conclusions. You want to be able to say, well, you want to know the answers. I want to know the answers. I want to know the answers to everything just like other people do. But we shouldn't allow ourselves to it's like someone saying that they saw a ghost. I'm not going to believe them because they said they saw a ghost. I'd be like, well, how do you know what a ghost is? What is a ghost? Is it just something you saw in the movies, on TV, read in the books? Why should I believe you? What's a ghost supposed to look like? What's it made of? How do we even know that they're real? So for you to say that you saw a ghost, what do we have to go on? So I would say the same thing to you, like, well, sure, okay, a prediction would mean a God exists, but then I'll be like, okay, well, what is a God? What's a God made of? How do you know that it exists? How do you know it had anything to do with the predictions? How do you know it just wasn't people writing generalizations that you bought into
'Cause they're
and interpret it for yourself?
Yeah, they're very accurate,
Okay, but then, okay, even if it was, how does it have to do with a God existing?
That's just one part of proving that there is a God. Because there's other things that happen with science also.
How?
Okay,
Because that doesn't.
I'm just trying to understand what you believe in. How do you,
Go ahead.
what do you believe how the Earth came about?
Well,
I'm just wanting
have
to
you
know.
ever studied astronomy or cosmology, or have you ever studied how star systems form and how stars exploded and we're pretty much just
I
stardust?
have one question.
Sure.
With all that cluster happening in a Big Bang, fine. where did, because the simplest form of the element is the hydrogen, right? One proton, one electron, one neutron, or two neutrons, depending on what type of isotope it is, right? For an
Okay,
element,
go ahead.
for an atom. If the electron moves away from the hydrogen, from the proton, explosion happens where a hydrogen bomb comes about. And it doesn't go closer because of the energy that's the way it's built. How was that perfectly made, or can come about? How did that come about? How did that simple atom that we can't even see, we know, but it's the building block of an element?
It sounds like you have questions, and you're very curious how the universe is the way it is, and that's good. But it seems like you're asking it in such a way to where you're allowing your very intense curiosity to push you to want to answer your own question with something like a God. And that's not reasonable.
I understand that.
Okay.
It's not reasonable to say, oh, I know the answer, it's God, that's why I'm asking you the way the question is. But how would you explain it? How did it come about out of nothing?
How did space and time and energy come about?
Atom. Space and energy, they came out of that atom or
Well,
element.
we know very little about the Big Bang. We know some, but we just don't know enough about it.
Nothing, something came about, right?
What's that?
From nothing, something
Well,
came
we
about.
can't use the word nothing because we really don't know what the word nothing means.
Okay. So,
Well, what is nothing? Nobody knows what nothing is. We've never seen nothing.
But so you don't believe in the Big Bang Theory?
I think we have evidence for it. I don't know enough about it. I really don't think anyone really knows much about it to know what it was all about. We see the red shift. We see the evidence, all the other evidences of there being a merger point at one point, but exactly how that singularity behaved and how it came to be do what it did to be here today, we don't know enough about it. And I'm okay with saying I don't know. And that's the most honest, decent answer anyone stands saying, we don't know until we know. We shouldn't guess. We should wait until we really know and be curious. And that's what fuels science. That's what fuels curiosity, is just not knowing. We shouldn't just tell ourselves, all through our history, we told ourselves that, well, this happened because, God did this. Then we found out God didn't do it. And so conveniently gets pushed back into the God of the gaps. And so now we're just at the Big Bang and we don't know. And since that's such a hard question, people just use that all the time. But it's okay to not know and to question. It's
obviously,
okay.
there's a lot of things that we don't know. That
Right.
We can't answer. And there's nothing wrong with not knowing because we're human and we're imperfect and our
Okay.
brains can't comprehend all the information that's around us to
Mhm.
do calculations and do scientific things to try to
Okay.
answer this. And there's nothing wrong with having questions. You always have to ask questions because that's our human nature.
Right.
To ask questions.
So then why should anyone think not only that a God had something to do with the predictions, but there is a God, or even what it is, to be able to say, okay, there's a God, and okay, then he must have something to do with that. How can a person do that?
I'm going to bring an example, and I have a feeling I already know what argument you're going to bring or what counter argument
Okay.
you're going to say.
Okay.
You're walking through the forest.
All right.
It's not been known that a human has ever been there. You done your research, you're the first one to be there. That's it. You're walking down, and all of a sudden you get tired, you sit down, and next to you, you're digging around to see what's there, just for the heck of it, and you see a toothpick there, and it has like a manufacturer's name on it, like the,
I don't think they do, but go ahead.
huh?
I think it's too small to have that, but go ahead.
Well, not a toothpick, but a stick.
All
that
right,
has
there you
something
go.
there.
Okay.
Would you say that over the time that you've been there, you've all of a sudden it has nature, the
Yeah,
way the
you-
wind blew and all that?
Okay, now you're, yeah, I understand where you're going with this.
And I have a feeling what your argument is going to be.
You're trying to assert that everything is created and therefore nothing's natural.
Everything's created.
Everything has a design and nothing is natural.
Well, would you say a house just came about?
No, because we know humans designed it.
But how did they design it?
We designed it using our intellect.
But didn't we look at nature? Because if you look
There's a lot of nature we do look at to be able to help design things better. Sure.
yes, but how did that come about to have a perfect? For example, we looked at a bird like, oh, a bird could fly. We could fly too.
Great. Yes.
But how? Because more scientists more the more they look into it, the more they learn from the
It's
animals.
called evolution.
Okay.
Something you guys don't believe in, if I'm not mistaken.
What is evolution for you?
Evolution for me is just what evolution is for everybody, which
No,
is
well, the thing is, it's interesting that you say that, but different people have different interpretations.
that's
of what
because
evolution is.
the level of education is
What
different,
is
varied.
it? I just out of curiosity.
Evolution is a change in a gene pool of a given species over one or more generations. We see this we see it easily, both in fossils and DNA, and we can replicate it.
Why don't we see it now?
Of course, we see it now. We see it all the time. If you're talking about big changes, we're alive for a very short amount of time, so you're not going to see a big change in a short amount of time. But through DNA and fossils, we can see all the evidences we need. Evolution, we have more information on evolution than we do on gravity. Gravity's a theory as well.
Yeah, well, they say theory, law, they interchange those words.
Well,
they
no,
mix it up
a
and
law
say
describes what
it's
something is. A theory describes how it works.
But it could be proven wrong because it's a theory.
Well, gravity can't be proven wrong, can it?
Then how could it be a theory?
A theory explains it.
But if you look at the definition of a theory, it exists. This is it, what it is, until it could be proven wrong. If it's proven wrong.
No, a theory can be a conclusion based on facts that you
But
have.
then that conclusion could be changed because the facts
So
change
if
also.
science is if we're ever incorrect about something, it's replaced by better science. Don't touch me, please.
Oh.
All right,
But
thanks.
look, I'm gonna go on your YouTube anyway to see if our recording was there
Ah.
or not. I follow to make sure that you don't put us. If you do
Ah.
put us there, I will call YouTube and I won't call
Ah,
them. I will be like, dude, I didn't want. You don't have my consent to put me
Ah.
on there. If you really are interested in having
I
conversation,
am, which is why I
by
asked.
recording us, I've told you this before. I don't mind it.
No,
But
okay.
if you're gonna
You should
say-
be happy your voice is out there.
But I don't
being
want
heard.
my voice to be that way. It's just a personal
Well, you're
choice.
out here talking to people. Why wouldn't you? If I was out here and I wanted to reach people, I'd be like, film me. Let the world see it.
But we're different. Different interests, different things. That's
So
the
you'll
thing.
come out only so far, and then you don't
It's
want
just
too much
me
attention.
personally, I'm the baby of the house. I'm not
The
used
baby.
to be
Oh.
center of attention. I hate being in front of camera. That's why my job is behind
Did your parents
the
make
camera.
you do this?
No.
No?
It's a personal choice.
Oh, okay.
I did my own research. I did my own study. As you can
Hmm.
tell, I like to ask questions.
No, that's good. I like that.
So-
It's different. Actually, to tell you the truth, that's really different from the usual JW. They really don't like to ask too much. They don't like to question their beliefs and things of that nature.
I question a lot of things before I make a decision.
Have you ever taken a critical thinking course?
Yes, I have.
You have?
Yes, I've taken it twice actually.
Okay,
So
that's good. That's good.
I like to explore different subjects, different things. That's why it's hard for me to decide on a major because I like everything.
Ah,
But then again, please, Ted, I'm trusting you.
nah, you shouldn't trust me too much.
Let me finish my sentence. That you won't put this on YouTube.
Ah.
You said it's not on.
That's nice. It's very
And
cute.
I will look.
Okay.
If it is on YouTube,
Go ahead.
I will ask them to
Okay.
take it down. And I have the power, so not because I know people. It's just the law. If you
Of
don't have
course.
my consent,
Of course.
you cannot put it. So please.
Well,
You can't even blur my face.
it depends. What's that?
You can't even blur my face.
Actually, yes, I can.
But I don't want to.
It doesn't
I
matter.
don't want you to put it. My voice or anything.
Blurring your face would totally, let's say you people would be like, okay, that's cool.
But you don't. My voice or this conversation, I don't want it to be out in public
Mm.
at all.
Well,
Please,
you're out in public. What do you expect?
No, I'm talking about to you personally. That's all I have to say. Have a
It,
wonderful
but it
day.
makes okay. I will.
I just.
I will.
I said what I had to say.
Did you have something to say, sir?
Oh, we both.
Yeah,
No.
we're on
Okay.
our shift.
All right.
Our shift's up.
All right. Someone's got to show me how to blur a fucking face. I don't know how to blur a face. I use Sony Vegas. Who can teach me how to blur a face? Guess I'll Google it.